ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
A San Diego police officer placed on leave after an alleged post to social media tied to a deadly shooting months ago. The photo at the center of the investigation happening now. In critical fire danger from the coast to the mountains when scorching temperatures will break. Plus, another sigh of relief for indoor businesses, but the state says there's another challenge on the way. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt. Less than an hour ago, the chief of police made a stern public statement about a social media post from one of his officers. It apparently makes light of the memorial for a man the officer shot and killed earlier this year. ABC 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena has more on the photo at the center of this internal investigation. Lindsay?
Yeah, that's right, Kimberly. San Diego Police Chief David Nislight began by saying he was shocked and disturbed. He also apologized to the family of that man fatally shot by officers back in June. As you said, this all centers on a makeshift memorial for that man, Leonardo Ibarra, and a social media post from an SDPD officer allegedly making light of that memorial. We aren't showing the picture in question, and the account has since been taken down, but it reportedly contained a hashtag and emojis written over a picture of the memorial and was posted sometime last week. Now, that officer in question, Jonathan Lucas, was one of two who fired at Ibarra on a sidewalk in downtown San Diego. Officials said Ibarra was wanted in connection to a robbery. Ibarra later died from his injuries. Chief Nislight says as soon as that image was brought to his attention, he took swift action, suspending Officer Lucas without pay and launching an investigation.
This is a critical time in relationships between law enforcement and the communities that we serve. I want to send a clear message that this behavior is not acceptable in the San Diego Police Department and does not reflect the values of the men and women of this department.
Now, the chief says Officer Lucas is entitled to due process before any disciplinary action is taken. He also said that he would be as transparent as the law would allow him to be as this investigation continues, but couldn't tell us exactly how long it would take. We will, of course, follow this story and bring you any new information coming up after tonight's presidential debate. For now, I'm Lindsay Pena reporting live in downtown San Diego.
Developing by the minute. Thank you, Lindsay, for that live update. Now to our fire danger. The National Weather Service extended a heat advisory through Friday for the inland valleys. We have team coverage as a red flag warning continues for another hour. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala shows us how some people are braving the heat outside.
It was pretty dang hot.
It's still hot and dry, and the weather is expected to be like this for most of the week, creating dangerous fire weather conditions, putting fire crews across the county on high alert. A heat advisory is in effect through Thursday for the coastal areas and through Friday for the inland valleys. Some took to Mission Beach to find that much-needed relief.
At 9, it already felt significantly warmer than the last couple of days.
Hikers faced the heat at Iron Mountain Trailhead, despite Poway seeing temperatures close to 100 degrees before noon Tuesday.
It was pretty hot, hotter than I expected and very dry.
The National Weather Service warns the hot temps could cause heat-related illnesses to occur. Elizabeth Keniff was caught off guard by the weather Tuesday morning. She got through her hike, but says she would not recommend it, especially with hotter days still on the way.
Yeah, if it's going to be 100 or over, stay home. And that is from somebody who hikes 3 or 4 days a week.
Others appeared to be pretty unfazed.
We go on hikes a lot, and we do it in like hot weather, like all year round.
I woke up at 6 and just started hydrating, getting myself ready.
For now, fire crews asking everyone to remain vigilant and be extra cautious about doing things that could potentially spark a fire. We all know just how quickly a wildfire could spread when it's this dry out. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking our conditions right now. Hi, Angelica.
Hi, Kim, and I'll show exactly how dry it is around the county. A red flag warning continues, but it's almost over. It will be ending at 5 o'clock. The winds are starting to become lighter, and that is really good news. However, the heat will continue. The heat advisory has been extended, as you heard already, for inland communities all the way through 8 p.m. on Friday, but for coastal communities, it will continue until 8 p.m. on Thursday. So this is what we're dealing with right now. Still gusty in Ramona, Alpine with that easterly wind pattern, which is drying out the atmosphere as the winds downslope. They dry out the atmosphere. They basically get rid of any moisture available, and they also heat up the air. So as a result, the temperatures have done exactly what we expected them to do, up into the hundreds in Ramona. The record for Ramona today is 102. Of course, we'll verify whether or not we broke any records this afternoon. And that should be coming up right around 4:30.
And we'll see you then. Thanks, Angelica. Remember, you can track red flag conditions anytime with the ABC 10 News mobile app. A small sigh of relief today for San Diego as our county's COVID case numbers improve over the past week. 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty looks at our progress and the concerns the state has for Californians beyond the numbers.
San Diego barely avoided the dreaded purple tier last week, and this week the numbers are holding steady. It has a case rate of 6.7 per 100,000 residents, just below last week's 6.9, just shy of a metric that would have slid San Diego into the most restrictive tier for staying open during the pandemic. In Sacramento today, Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Ghaly stressing mental health issues are becoming more widespread as we sink deeper into the pandemic. Stressing the state is ensuring our health plans and our communities are poised to handle the challenges of mental health and substance abuse.
We know that both the economic stress, the school closures and distance learning, and frankly, isolation for many of us, really that these stress-related behavioral health conditions are on the rise.
Late last week, Governor Newsom signed several mental health bills to give communities the tools to address mental health issues.
If this feels hard, it's because it's hard. We are in the middle of a once in 100 years pandemic.
Meantime, San Diego County took no new action regarding policy. Supervisor Jim Desmond still arguing the state's colored tier system is flawed and that every business should be afforded the same opportunity to open up safely. Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
And according to Dr. Wooten, by next month, testing capacity is on track to increase to 30,000 tests a week in San Diego County. And we're less than 2 hours away from the first presidential debate tonight in Cleveland. President Trump's taxes are expected to play a role following the New York Times report claiming that he paid $750 in federal income taxes in 2016 and 17. Trump claims that he paid millions. And former Vice President Joe Biden released his 2019 tax returns, showing he and his wife paid nearly $300,000. The 90-minute debate will also feature questions about the economy, COVID-19, and the Supreme Court. You can watch it live tonight right here on ABC 10 at 6 o'clock. While the presidential race dominates national headlines, there's a lot at stake for Californians on this year's ballot. ABC 10 News reporter John Horn is joining us now live with the big decisions ahead and where the voters appear to stand in our state. Hi, John.
Hi, Kimberly. Yes, statewide alone, Californians will weigh in on 12 different propositions, and they could impact everything from our property taxes to our jobs and even our rents. And our new scientific poll shows many of the key measures are leading. Our new ABC 10 News Union Tribune scientific poll shows 8 statewide propositions with a lead outside the margin of error. But it's not a done deal. Opposition generally increases closer to Election Day. Only 2 polled over 50% support.
Sometimes a proposition has one part of it that people find attractive, but then other details that they don't like. And as a campaign exposes those, as the no campaign makes that case, then support will drop off.
Here are some of the key results. Prop 15, which would raise property taxes on some commercial buildings for schools and local governments, is leading 49-21 with the remainder undecided. Prop 19 allows severely disabled homeowners, those over 55, and those who have lost their homes in a wildfire to avoid property tax increases if they buy a new primary home. The measure, which would allocate new revenue to fire protection services, is leading 56-10 with 34% undecided. Prop 21 would give local authorities the power to enact rent control on some properties older than 15 years, exempting many mom and pops. That's leading 46% to 27% with the rest undecided. Prop 22 would allow Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash drivers to continue to serve as independent contractors with some benefits, creating an exemption in response to a new state law that would reclassify them as employees. That's leading 45 to 31, with 25% unsure.
And the polls showed Joe Biden beating President Trump in California 59% to 32. Now, interestingly, it shows Trump winning in California by 17% when only counting in-person election day voters. So that could impact some of those early results that we see. Now, you can see the full poll results for all 8 propositions, including those that impact parole and inmate voting, on our website, 10news.com. Kimberly?
A lot of quality of life issues there. Thank you for that update, John. And we are just 5 weeks from Election Day. You can cast your ballot early at the Registrar of Voters office starting Monday. The deadline to register to vote is October 19th. After that time, you can still vote conditionally. In-person voting begins October 31st. And Election Day, of course, November 3rd. You can find all of this information on 10news.com. Today, community artists unveiled a 50-foot mural honoring Anastasio Hernandez Rojas, a San Diego man who died in Border Patrol custody 10 years ago. The two-sided mural was painted in Chicano Park by artist and activist Victor Ochoa. One side shows Rojas in an eclipse. The other side shows his widow and children. It memorializes families who have lost loved ones in border custody. Rojas was tasered in 2010. The agents involved were not prosecuted.